Be'ezrat Hashem, tonight, the 15th of Tamuz. 15th of Tamuz is a big Hillula, Rabbi Haim ben Atar, known as Haim HaKadosh. Haim HaKadosh is a book, one of his books that he wrote, ala parasha, right? So it's tonight, Tetvav Tamuz. Tetvav Tamuz. So we're going to explain Haim HaKadosh, Rabbi Haim ben Atar, Zchuto Yagen Aleinu. When he came to Israel, a lot of people, he was tzaddik nistar. He was hiding himself. And not many people knew he's a tzaddik. To the point, not only people didn't consider him as a tzaddik, people tried to always to lasim lo michsholim, to put right stumbling blocks in front of him. To the point that they put, his house had like steps, they took off one of the steps of his house and they put a Sefer Torah. So every time when he goes up to his house, he would step on a Sefer Torah. But Bekdushato, with his Kedusha, he right away, when he came home, he didn't want to go up the steps. He says something is there, and as they moved it, they saw a Sefer Torah. People didn't know who he is. People thought he's an imposter. People thought he's a person looking for fame. And he was Nechbai Kelim. He was a person didn't look any kavod, nothing. Even in Morocco, he used to hide, so people shouldn't know who he is. But in Morocco already they knew who he is. When he came to Israel, it was all fresh. And then people start realizing who he is. So today in his Hillula, you have between 200 to 300,000 Jews going to his kever to ask berachot, berefuah, parnasa, children, everything you want, after they saw who tzaddik he is. You can even see one of his books called Or LeZion. In his book Or LeZion, which is ala shas, on the shulchan, on the Gemara, explaining the Gemara, he writes over there in the Akdama. He writes in the introduction. Whoever is going to read my book and his intention is to criticize me, I curse him to begin with. מקלל אותו, אמרו, אני מקלל אותו שלא יזכה, וואו, כמה הוא כותב, רק בהקדמה, just in the introduction of Or LeZion, in his book. זה ודאי, אז זה תרתי משמע. So there's a big sugulot, there's a rabbi called Rabbi Orovitz, or Ginsburg, I think, Ginsburg. He didn't have children for many years. And somebody told him, it's a big sugula to start learning Haim HaKadosh. The day he started to learn the book Haim HaKadosh, he nifkad bebanim zecharim, he had a baby by a baby girl. But this baby girl married the big tzaddik, Rav Moshe Sternbuch. They say Baba Saleh, Zecher Tzedek Bacha, every Friday morning would sit next to in his office and would read the whole Pirush Or Haim HaKadosh ala parasha. And Hasidim, Or Haim HaKadosh comes in certain editions, and where you can study the whole Pirush of Or Haim ala parasha divided by the 7 days of the week. So Sunday the one says from here to here, like Chok Israel with Or Haim HaKadosh. Hasidim, they love Or Haim HaKadosh because after that, they realized who he was, the big tzaddik. One of the big tzaddikim that knew Or Haim HaKadosh was the Baal Shem Tov. They said the Baal Shem Tov tried very much in his life to meet with Or Haim HaKadosh, but min hashamayim, they told the Baal Shem Tov, you cannot do that, because if you two tzaddikim meet, Mashiach has to come, and it's not time for that. The Baal Shem Tov tried anyways to go. He took a boat with his daughter, and he traveled in the middle of the ocean. The boat broke. He found himself on an island. Pirates wanted to kill him, and then he was able to, by miracle, to return to his house. And he understood that min hashamayim, they don't want him to meet the Or Haim HaKadosh in Israel, because Mashiach is about to reveal himself, and it was not yet time. One Seudah Shlishit, he was sitting down in Seudah Shlishit, and the Baal Shem Tov says, the Western candle just went off. And they asked him, what do you mean? They said in Israel, which is Ma'arav, the West. In the West, Israel, the big light got shut off. This was Motzei Shabbat. He passed away on Tet Vav, the 15th of Tamuz. It was a Motzei Shabbat. And Or Haim HaKadosh niftar. So they asked him, Rabbeinu, Atar bePolania, you're in Poland. And Or Haim HaKadosh was in Israel. How did you know he was niftar? He says, because the reason I wanted to meet Or Haim HaKadosh, he was the only Rav in the world, in the whole world, who knew the secret of Netilat Yadayim that installed by Shlomo HaMelech. He was the only one in the world. And he wanted to meet him so he can teach him. But min hashamayim lo ratzu. As he was sitting Seudah Shlishit, he was telling them, I got the secret as I was sitting Seudah Shlishit. I understood if I got the secret that he passed away. וכך היה. מוצאי שבת, they got information that Or HaChaim HaKadosh was niftar בארץ ישראל on the 15th of Tamuz. To tell you this is a big tzaddik, it's a mitzvah to light, it's a big segula, to light a candle and to make bakasha. שידוך, זיווג, פרנסה, ילדים, whatever you want. ואור החיים הקדוש, גדולים וצדיקים, at Hashem tonight, a lot of people went to his kever בהר הזיתים. He's buried in הר הזיתים on the bottom הר הזיתים, right? And the tzaddik, very big tzaddik, right? ספרדים, אשכנזים, חסידים, כולם הולכים אליו. Everybody goes to him. So זכותו יגן עלינו וכל עמו ישראל. אמן כן יהי רצון. רבי